What's up, everybody? So you're probably wondering, how do you build a starter home? Well, first thing you have to do, of course, is find yourself a nice scenery. I went ahead and did that already. I'm going to pick this little area because we have this little alcove. We can put something over here. But this right here is just going to be a starter house, a basic house. So what you're going to want to do is find an area, make sure it's all clear of any obstructions, and you want it to be as natural as possible. Like up here would be fine, over here would be fine, but if there's like a bunch of trees in the way, you might want to clear that out forest. Anyways, so you want to start building. Usually, you don't want to pick any sort of shape. What you want to do is just place down random pillars where you think you want everything to be, just randomly for the most part. Make sure they're lined up, so because you want some sort of symmetricalness. And then I shall make this same as that, and I'll put that there. And as you can see, all of this is in perfect order. You also want to make it so that it's support beams. So you want to make it so that if there's a line right here, you want to make sure there's a line there in between those two. And then, of course, put one here too. And then you want to decide how tall. I'm going to make this a one-story house, just for the simplicity of this video. You want to just go up, let's say about 5 or 6 blocks. That's a bit more. Okay. I'm going to make it all even on every side. Keep going up. And I'm just going to choose my own color palette. I like the dark oak wood, spruce wood, and stone bricks, because that's much how I like it. That's my preference, but you can always go with yours. As you can see, it's coming along nicely. I'm going to make the pillars first. These are going to be like the foundation. These are going to be what holds the house up, because I'm going to make a bit of a floating house. It's going to be on top of these. Because you don't always want your house to be like inside the ground. No. Instead, it's going to be a bit off the ground, held up by these support beams. And just like that, we have all that finished. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the beams connected. This is going to be the basic. Connect everything. Of course, you don't have to connect each one, but just connect most of them. Okay. And as you can see, it's coming along. The more you do this, the more natural your house is going to seem at the end. Okay. And then, since I want to make this horribly, and since I plan on making this floating, I'm also going to have a line of support beams near the bottom. So that's a good amount. It's a good amount of height. I'll put the support beams here. Because these are going to be what's holding up the walls, basically. I won't do it on the inside of the house, though. That's going to be specifically for the outside rim. That's going to be like a trim for it. Make sure it looks nice. Make all that. Going around. And there. Next, what you're going to want to do is figure out where you want your doors. Since this is 5 blocks wide, I'm only going to put a 1 block door. And what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to place more of this, the main logs, right over it. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to break those two. And then from here, I'm going to replace all of this with stone brick. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to make a little thing at the bottom, so it's not just all the stone brick. So it might look like that. Of course, you can also do it the opposite way, where you have wood up here with the stone brick at the bottom. And as you can see, it's not really all that great yet. It's not really all that great, but you have to wait. And then we're going to put down the balcony. And I shall make over here the way to get up. And since you have this, you're going to want to make it so it goes to the bottom too. And so that looks like that. But you can see it's still a bit out of touch. A bit out of touch. I'm going to want to add some windows everywhere. Give it some depth. Glass panes are great for that. Sometimes you might even want to replace all of that. Or that house might just look a bit too bland for you. And you have this. So then what you're going to want to do is fill in the floors. Usually, if you're worried about mobs, use slabs, but it does take away from the overall like details of the build if you just use slabs. And so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use the full blocks of wood. Or though if you use top slabs, it also gives it more depth in the bottom. Just fill in the floor. We'll add more depth later to the flooring. And since my design, what I'm going with, is going to be with stone bricks, I'm going to keep that trim around, for the most part, the entire build. So I'm going to grab my stone bricks, place that all down, down, more, there we go. Although, if you want to add a bit more depth and you don't really care about the lack of space, what you can do, in fact, is put this inside. You're probably wondering about how much space this is going to take up. Don't worry, it's not going to be too much. Although it does add a good bit of depth to your build, which is something that is very much needed if you want to make a good looking starter house. Let me just change it to daytime, so you don't have to worry about the darkness for now. And then, of course, fill in the rest with wood, or whatever your block type is. I'm actually going to use dark oak wood here. You usually want to have a darker block for the walls than your floor. Although, of course, that could be the opposite. Again, all up to your own preference. I'm just going to fill up the wall. And then we'll decide where we want to put the windows afterwards. And what I'm going to do here is, since there's glass, I'm going to put more glass right here. Then it gives it that little look. Although, of course, if I wanted to, I could always break this, fix it up. But I like how that looks. And then as you can see, the roof itself is looking kind of weird, but we'll fix that up later. Anyways, keep placing the blocks. Finish filling up the walls. Which shouldn't take you all that much time. This is just a starter house, by the way. Finishing it up. And of course, I want set symmetry in this house. That's just how I am. Many people don't want that. Sometimes it actually takes away from the beauty of the Minecraft house. I don't always go with it. Anyways, so that's how this looks. And then I want a window here. And then I'm not going to do the same over here. What I'm going to do instead is just go too high. Over here is going to be my bedroom. And over here is just going to be the item stuff. The crafting tables, furnaces, all of that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get our beds. Pick your color. I like to do one that accents it right. It's going to be the same color as a torch. Usually you want to keep your beds the same color as your torches. Which is why I'm going to be using the red beds. Because I'm going to be using the lanterns. Just to give it that extra depth. Those there for light for now. We will be moving those, fixing those up a bit. And what you want to do is you want to decorate the bedside. I'm going to put that there, and I get a pot. I'm going to do bamboo. Bamboo in a pot. Mighty fine over here. And then I'll put another one. Lantern. Be a little nightlight. And what you can also do is add slabs that would do it the same color as either your walls or your nightstands. Just put that around the bed, and there you go, a nice little cozy place for your bed. Of course, you can have pictures and all that if you want, and then of course you wanna make a little line between these two. And since this right here doesn't need much space, break those. Although I would say you might want to use stairs for this. Use stairs and you can make it look a bit more connected. Or you can just use full give it a little bit, and that right there gives it a bit of, yeah, let me go there. There we go. And then over here you're going to want to do basically the same thing. Maybe you want to push it out a bit more. It's a bit more accented. Fix that up. There we go. And so now you have a nice little area to come into. And of course you're going to want to do your chests. You're going to want a good amount of chests in your house, of course. That's everywhere. So I'm going to put this wall right here is just going to be the chest. And you're going to want to do some sort of pillar. You might just want to grab your log again and bring that up. Because that right there makes it like a little bit of an area between. And then let's go get the crafting table and furnace and all that good stuff. This furnace, smoker. This isn't going to have an enchantment table because it, again, just a starter house. By that time you should probably have all that sorted out. And we'll put everything on top. Yeah. I might actually want to put the smoker on top of the crafting table because that makes it as wood and wood, and stone and stone. And you can have whatever you want over here. And of course you don't want all the walls to be the same. So what you're going to want to do is change it up. I personally like the deep slate tiles and deep slate bricks. I think they look really good in almost any build, and so this is how I shall be keeping this. And I should also change these walls just to make it a little bit more natural. So it gives it a bit of a detail. And then what you're going to want to do is you want to cover up the roof. I'm going to use slabs for this. I shall use andesite's a really good one, but you're going to want some kind of like strong one. Tiles. Tiles are a great one. Use tiles. Then you can also open up chests. So you can make that chest pile one higher. It also gives you a bit of like the difference between the inside and the outside of your house. Place it all down. Cover everything up. You won't have to worry about phantoms. You won't have to worry about anything getting into your house by accident that you don't want it to. And then just like that, the inside of that. You're also going to want to extend this a bit. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab these, bring that up, and I'm going to make a wall with the glass. It makes it kind of a natural barrier. I'll add 2 lanterns there and there. And just like that, a nice little starter balcony. I'll leave that as that is, because it's going to get annoying to fix that. Anyways, So as you can see, you can easily run underneath the house in case of anything. You can keep things underneath here. You can add something underneath if you want, maybe even a little tunnel that goes down. And you come inside, and you have everything is locked on. You have your little room. You can have whatever you want. Maybe you want an extra crafting table in here. Place that there. You get yourself another lantern and place it there. Whatever you think. What you're also going to want to add is some decorations. For decorations, some good ones are rods. Where is it? Not rod. Okay. There we go. Then you can also use cauldrons. Cauldrons are great for decoration, especially if you add a nice looking leaf, like the flowering azalea leaves. And you just put these in the corners every so often. And you get these natural little leaves. Of course you want to put them in like corners for the most part, or next to doors. And then you have a painting here maybe, painting up here. Definitely gonna want paintings in your room. Big. If you need to, you can force it to be a certain size by doing something like that. I don't actually like that paint. I'll leave that. And then of course you can use these as a bar. With the light, of course. And just like that, you have a nice little area. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna make this kind of look like a kitchen. What we're gonna get is quartz stairs, smooth quartz stairs specifically. And we're gonna add one like that, and then another one like that, and then there we go. And then we're gonna put a smoker. We're gonna put a smoker there, and then we're gonna have a campfire. Fire is going to go there with a trapdoor. You have one of the iron trapdoors and a spruce trapdoor for this. You put the iron trapdoor on top and the spruce on the side, and it gives you this little like oven and stove look. You can have of course whatever you want on here. Maybe you want to get yourself a item frame and put some meat. Make it glow a bit. Did I make it that? Item frame. And then top or something. And like that, you really just bring your build kind of alive. A bit more than it was before. And of course you see there's this empty area you can have. I don't know, like maybe you just want to have a bar stool. With 2 chairs. Great little house. Whatever you feel. And of course you can also might want to add something between here, maybe another room of plants. Like that. And of course you're going to want to put some sort of lighting in. But of course there's all this. Then you can just come back into here and once you get time, go right back to sleep. After that, as you can see, the inside is for the most part done. It has like basically everything you need. And then we just have to do the outside. What I like to do on the outside is add things like this. Little areas where the windowsills, you know? Good ways to do this is to go just only to the window areas. This back area looks a bit bland, we might have to add something to it. I'm going to add these on top. One more color to it. And it's a very dark color in it, so it doesn't really take too much away from the walls itself. I'm going to leave this one alone and these because as you can see the glass panes it would oversight and you don't really want that in. And as you can see, go. And then what you might want to do is I'm going to add one more window here. That painting. And then I'm going to add these to the side of it. And some look like shutters for the most part. I'm going to go grab myself another window. what we're going to do for this window, so it's actually a bit different. So we can go there, break that, there, that, and then what we're going to get is dirt. No, actually use Forestone. Forestone looks a bit better in these situations. Grab these. Although you might want to use the dark oak for this. That's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use the dark oak. Oak. And then you're going to want to put some kind of flowers. Flower. And I'm going to put blue for the most part. And then I'm going to put a lily. Lily of the Valley. Place that, place that, place that. And what you want to do is you want to make sure you have like a nice little palette for those. And then of course what you can also do is you can add more lights with the end rods and all that. But for the most part, that is the outside. You can also add these just to the outside, just to give it a certain look that you want it to. Again, you can just experiment with this. I have it basically how I want it. I'm going to put these down. Actually, I try to keep these with the same color palette. And so I'm going to come over. Where do I have those spruce trapdoors? Here they are. Grab those. And I should put these on the side of these. And as you can see, it really brings out the contrast. And of course, you can also cover up window to make it look like you can see outside, but the shutters are just closed. And what you want to do for the roof. There's a lot of different roof styles. What I mainly do is I use plate tile stairs for the roof, just because I like it. I like it like that, you know? And then you just want to build up. You always want to start on the side, so it has a bit of an overhang. And you also want to put one on the, an overhang. And you dig up, and sometimes I actually just leave it off here. Actually just make it a flat head right up here. So that I don't really have to worry too much about hooking up and making sure it's all aligned together and all that, because that is, to be honest, a huge pain. And this does in fact still look quite good the way it is. Of course, you can also just add the tiles to bring it up a bit more. And then what I also like to do is add stairs. You add a stair there. Of course, if you're going to add the stair, you don't want to put those down. Then you put this another stair like that, and you have that little overhang. That looks pretty good, to be honest. And then what you're going to want to do for the rest of the house is, of course, follow the same pattern of like that. Overhang. One more, and then the way to mix these, you can mix them multiple different ways, or you can just do something like that. It's a bit more of a natural mixing thing. You don't have to make it go from like a slab to a stair, and then it just misses out on the whole concept. What you're gonna want to do is place more, and just finish up the roof however you want. And for the most part, your house is basically done. Having all the essentials that you need. Your chests, your bed, good amount of decorations. And of course you can add whatever you want. You can add more, you can make it bigger, but just don't follow a set square. That just makes the house look bad. You never want to follow a square. Unless of course you're doing like some kind of art based on a square. But for the most part, most people are not going to be doing such a thing. And so, adding something just like this is absolutely fine. Keep building this out. Oh. Yeah, oh, I put that too high, didn't I? Oh my. Yeah, make sure you don't do that. Always make sure you have the right dynamics down with what you plan on doing. I'm just doing this freehand, which is of course what you came to this video for. like that. Always fix up the sides. As you can see, it's all on each side except for this one so far. But I'll fix that up right now. You always want to have it come off a bit, just so it has that natural style. Wrong one. Step back. There we go. Keep going. Finish it up. And of course, you can also switch up the tile. Making 2 different color roofs is actually a pretty good thing to do depending on what you're building. For this is just like a log cabin out of the woods. It's not too big, it's not too small. So one roof style is all I should be really adding. Looking a bit cluttered. Because that's also a big problem. You don't want there to be too much. You just have like a little bit of a sensory overload. Fix all this. And any holes that you might have missed. And just like that, you have this nice little house. That you can go inside of. You have your chests. You have it, basically everything that you need. Needed anything else, you can also build out of this. And there, we are done.